All right.
No, in general. Here we are. We are recording. This is me versus we. I am Katie Shasky, and that is my co-host, Michael Schultz. I am sui generis regenerate on pretty much all platforms, and other than Facebook. Facebook is just my name, Katie Shasky. So come find me. There's various podcasts on Spotify. There's me versus we, of
Mm-hmm. Of
course. So
course.
there's always content, and of course Substack as well. So. Michael, you want to say anything with the beginning?
Well, my name's Michael Schultz, and I run a page called Mutual Reception Astrology. It has versions of it on TikTok, a very neglected version on Instagram, and also my main versions are on Facebook and Substack. And I just hit my 1,000 subscribers on Substack the other day, so I'm
Oh,
pretty
that is
stoked.
bitching, dude. Good
Yep,
for you.
first
I see. I
first K.
aspire. I aspire to this. I'm always working on honing in my marketing, which I love and hate at the same time. The algorithm doesn't really love authenticity.
The algorithm is created to drain our energy. So I think any people that are not telling you to just, you know, become an energy drain, anybody that's trying to get you broken out of that, they don't tend to
Yeah,
like you, you know? It's the
no.
way it is.
I have
Those
a hard time
archonic
with
structures.
I'm working on bite-sizing my mission in a way that the algorithm is more attuned to and will pump me out more to, because I think I have more people I can reach. So just hearing your numbers is encouraging, because I already know which side of the fence you're on. You're on the sovereignty side, which was the main nugget of the conversation from the other day that we totally meant to record and have uh, posted by now. But my microphone, I tried a new headset, right? I tried a headset that's more similar to yours, brand
Hmm.
new. And I was working at the same time because I had overcommitted myself, which is another lesson for this conjunction I'm trying to learn. I'm working on it, all right. Getting my
I'm doing my
ass,
best.
I'm getting my ass handed to me every time I fail, but it's
Where's
getting drilled
Saturn
into my
hitting you
head.
right now?
My son,
Oh,
me
is it
and
right
me and
on it?
Troy are yeah, me and Troy are in the same boat as far as
Oh
having
no.
early degree sun, Aries, sun and Aries.
Hmm.
So it's gonna hit all my Aries pretty much. We were just discussing this with me and Chris Ohm the other day on another podcast. We were talking about love
Yep.
asteroids, and I just posted it this morning. But we talked it like a week ago, and it took me this long to get it to post. But on maintaining velocity, we just discussed love asteroids. Basically, every time I pull up an asteroid, more or less, it's an Aries. So
Hmm.
I have Sun conjunct Psyche and Psyche conjunct like Eros or something.
Hmm.
And
Crazy.
it's that's 8 degrees Aries, and then my Sun's 6, and then I have Mercury and Venus at 18, both retrograde. So and then it's all my personals, and then some of the more precise asteroids. Like, it's not like it's personal or anything. It's not like this is hitting me in my 11th house with my community, so that every time I try to commit to interacting with other people, I have to have very strong boundaries around it, because it's not like I'm getting my ass handed to me by Saturn or anything. Like, if it is immediately, I know if it's gonna, like, I have energizing sorry, I'm ranting. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Energizing conversations with people once I get into the swing of it. But the planning and organizing everything and making sure that I have breaks in between is something I'm learning. Is how to schedule that discipline around relaxation. And I've said it last time, and I really mean it this time. Like, I'm really learning this lesson hard, but it's really I can't tell anybody enough to be like, I'm learning how to relax. It sounds so fun.
Uh, I'm doing the opposite of you right now, and maybe that's normal because I am a Libra and you are an Aries. So
Hmm.
I'm trying to not relax quite so much. It's not like I ever really relax, but I do chill a lot. Um, and I need to be a little bit more active and more. It's just hard to chase after, for me, it's hard to chase after money that I know is controlled by, Rothschild central banks. It's like hard, because I'm like, I'm just feeding into this whole system and it's
Yes,
pissing me off.
but here's the thing. If it's fake, then why not have it widely available and do fun stuff with it? Why do I have to be under this time for money scenario? Fuck this. Why do I need a job? If it's fake, why do I need a job to make money? I don't. I want to make dumb money. I want to make money that's not serious. I want to do some dumb shit and I want to break into the algorithm in an unserious way and just fuck with it. Like fuck the 9 to 5. Fuck the structure. Why not go the opposite way with me versus we, right? I will
Yes.
like I am on the other side
Mm.
of it where I am working so hard to dumb it down and deliver it in a way that's more like it's the weirdest thing. I've never craved to be so shallow in my life. I want to be easier and less serious. While Saturn's on my sun, it's so fucking weird. But my community, my 11th house is crying for that togetherness, and people can't. I'm right now where I have been has been unreachable.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't play much, dude. Like I hear you
You, you,
talking about playing Fortnite and shit, and that's so important to have playtime, and I don't
it,
play.
you need to play more. What's going on? Jupiter's coming into Leo, so I'll never get to the
Third
point
house.
where I won't play, because I've got Jupiter and
Mm.
Leo, so I'm always going to play like a little bit. People sometimes say I'm playing with them too much, like they're like, you need to quit playing, brother, because
You
it's
play around
messing
too
with me.
fucking much.
You play a little
I
bit
can
too
see that with
much.
you. I could see that with you. You've got that Aries rising bullshit going on.
Oh yeah.
My Jupiter's in Aquarius along with my MC. So I've
Oh,
got ninth
you're o-
house.
you're only lucky when you conquer your ego, I guess, because like what is it about it? Because Aquarius energy. Let's talk about
Oh,
Aquarius energy and the ego. What's
oh man,
interesting, what's
we're
interesting to
gonna
me
flame.
is so Aquarius is like famously not about the ego. They're about the big picture, like how everything connects to make a better future, right? But Aquarius is the most likely sign to have a God complex, which is like another name to me for an ego, right? So it's like a masked ego to a certain extent, but maybe it's not like the ego. They're like, I've got to conquer this ego so I don't get caught up in all this celebrity bullshit and all this small talk. I've got to get above that and to the next level. So maybe that's the drive for Aquarius. I'm not quite sure, but that's feeling more right. I'm just
I mean,
blabbing.
when
I'm
I figure
gabbing.
it out, if I ever figure it out, when and if, I will let you know because I will rant endlessly about the Leos and the Aquarii. And I'm sorry, you guys, your access is just the least enjoyable for me in this lifetime. Like,
Mm.
I, I think it was Josh Geckles came up with Ghost in
Lovely
both
Taurus.
axis. But I adore him. He was born like a month after me, so we have very similar placements. So
Nice.
we'll have like that like really corny like silly back and forth that only generational planets can really like get. If you're born close enough, and we both have Gemini moons, so it's just like the bullshit factor is pretty high. It's good. But he calls it the ghost and boast axis, and I'm with
The
that shit because
go.
like that's literally all they do. Like I've never come in contact with I'm sorry, a Leo. I almost said Gemini. I've never come in contact with a Leo that it's not even about being humble because I have an issue with humble humility. That's not a
Yep.
problem if you're tooting your own horn and all this stuff. It's the silent competition. It's that weird energy that they bring, and the weird way they do things. And honestly, Aquarians do things just as weird. It's like, I don't understand why the methods they choose to get the ends that they want met. But either way, it feels like a manipulation even more than Libra is capable of. Like Libra, and it's funny because Libra, it will manipulate you, but make you feel like it's your idea, so you at least feel like you have some agency about it. You have the illusion of a
No.
choice. You know, you like
I don't know what you're talking about.
you
Let's
lead us
wave
you
that
lead
away.
us on and like finesse us and make us feel like it's part of our own decision making. At least we have that illusory aspect of it. But when it comes to the Leos and the Aquarius, it's like they will bend your fingers back until you submit, or you comply, or you will be forced into it in some sort of way. And it's just like, and especially the Leo moons, I'm
Hmm.
sorry, you
I
guys,
was raised by
like,
two Leo moons raised me.
I'm
That's my
so
mom and
sorry,
dad.
dude. I'm
Yep.
so sorry.
My older
So
sister is also a Leo moon. Yep, yep. I know all
you
about Leo
you have
moons. I
been
love them
personally victimized. Yeah,
by a
but
Leo
you
moon,
already,
though. I've definitely been personally victimized by many Leo moons.
you know, you
But
know,
but I'm a Scorpio moon, so I
you know how to play back.
Scorpio. So like I'm gonna jump in on your Leo topic for a second because I love Leos most of the time. Leos are great people to go out to the bar with. Leos are great people to like hang out with, and they'll bring energy to a party, they'll bring energy to something that you're at. They're good at that. The problem is if they don't feel like they're getting enough from it, they're like super vampy. And any Leo that's like gone through a bunch of stuff or is not in a good place kind of primarily is in that vampy state where they need like
Yeah,
energy. The problem
yeah.
that I have with Aquarius is different. Aquarius is like they'll be really good friends with me, and then I'll believe something ideologically that they don't like. And
Mm,
when they can't make me agree with them, then they're like, I just can't deal with this guy anymore. So no matter how many years of friendship there is with the Aquarius, they're like, that's it. It is the ghost axis. They're like,
yeah.
you broke the rules. You broke the Aquarian rules, and now you can't hang out with me. And then I'm like, well, I guess so, Aquarius. It's fucking fine, whatever. Like,
Those moving
um,
goalposts, man.
I mean, I try not to ghost people that much, but there are a lot of people that like want energy or just want interaction, and I
This
don't
is
always
not,
have it to give. So I'm
I'm
like,
laughing because this is not at all the episode that we recorded the other day, but we are going in on this axis. Fuck these people.
yes, fuck these people. No, I like them, but they're fixed. It's like all the fixed signs can be problematic, but I get along with like the Taurus Scorpio axis a lot
I
more.
agree. There's something so much more personable with the Taurus Scorpio axis. There's more lust. There's more, something dirty about it. There's
Yes.
like, either way you look at it, you got the shit, the blood, the guts, or you have the grass, the earth, the
Mhm.
the touch, the
The
sensation,
fertility, the sprouting, the seed,
it's the
yeah, it's good.
sensuality access. You
Hmm.
can access that access better than this fucking alien, like, sun god bullshit. Neither one wants to be human. Neither one wants to really be here. They want to be above everything and like bypass what it really means to be human most of the time. And so it just, like, it drives me up a wall. And you're right about that that neediness if they're not feeling like they're getting it. And it's just, I don't think I've ever partied with a Leo. So I'll say that. I mean, I've partied, it's not the same. I've partied with my mother. Like, she's the Aquarius in my life, and she may or may not have a Leo moon. My ex-husband had a Leo moon. But there's a limited amount of I want to say access again of I've
Hmm.
had with that energy when it comes to playtime. I've not really I don't think I've ever cut loose and had a fun around them. And really I don't know why exactly. I think I put a lid on myself a lot around them because I feel like every time I've taken the lid off around them, they get upset. They get that silent competition thing happening, and like it winds up being not fun anyways.
That feels fire to me. I've noticed like Sagittarius is like the least dramatic of the fire signs, but you know, I'm not saying anything bad about Aries, but like Aries and Leo together tend to like butt heads more than almost any of the other fire signs. And it's
It's
because
somehow, yeah.
they both are trying to do their thing. Their thing is different, you know? Like Aries is moving forward fire. Like Leo is kind of the centered, like not unmoving fire. It's like the fireplace, whereas Aries is like
Right.
the blowtorch or something. I don't know the
Yeah.
exact thing.
For real.
It's like, let's set
Yeah.
it on fire. It's this needs to be set on fire right now. And then Leo's
Yeah.
like, I am the fire. And Sagittarius is like, uh, I've unfortunately got out in the wild and I'm traveling around now, it's the
We are
wildfire.
wildfire now.
um,
We are
but
uncontained.
yeah, I love it. I love fire signs. I love them. The issue that I tend to have with as a Libra with Scorpio is I know exactly how to just feed a Leo's ego. So but everything balances out at the end, right? So I'll just feed a Leo's ego and just fatten them up, like, and it's easy as a Libra because any compliment you give to a Leo, they believe that they deserve it. They accept compliments really well. It's kind of cool. Um, but it just builds them up, you're just like, it's like you're pushing down the bicycle pump, you're just pumping that
Yeah.
balloon up. You're just pumping that balloon up. But then eventually, like the other shoe drops, the other part of my Libra comes out, and I'll just pop their bubble,
Yeah.
my Scorpio part. And then that's when Leo is like, I'm not sure if I can deal with this person because they're really good on the upswing, but man, I don't like having my ego devastated like that. And I can't help it sometimes, it's like sometimes you just
It's the
gotta
pendulum.
devastate an ego, like
The
sometimes it
pendulum
needs to be
swings
popped,
both
yeah.
ways. Yeah.
And that is probably
It's
Libra
not personal.
manipulation. What are you gonna
I
do?
mean, again, you have to make it their idea somehow. And you can't do that without a certain amount of flattery, otherwise they're immovable.
Hmm.
You won't get them to budge with that axis. It's like, I don't know, man. It's every time, it seems like, okay, this is maybe a conspiracy, but from my observation, it seems like it's anytime that there's an issue in a large group, it's going to be the Leos or the Aquarius.
That's been pretty true in astrology chip posting. I mean, it's almost always been a Leo at the center of like the major drama cycles
It's a
because
miracle.
they don't let go of drama either. So it's like the drama continues. It's like fixed signs.
Yeah.
Like I love drama when it happens, but if drama is still happening from the initial set point, like a month later, I really don't have any time for it. I don't want to put any
No.
energy into it anymore. And
There's
they're
new
like,
drama by now. There's new things to focus
there's
on by now. There's always something new to happen. And like, have you even seen the news? People are dying, Kim.
Kim, Kim Kardashian. Uh, geez, she's a Libra.
She is.
She married a Gemini, Kanye West, and that was Kanye West's biggest mistake that he ever made in his life. Except he had a kid, so I guess
He
that's
had a bunch
okay.
of kids. He had a bunch.
I've managed never to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians over the course of my life, and I'm going to keep it that way.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
but there's something about Kim from what I've seen of her, and it's just she represents like the fakest Libra aspects, which is like our big weakness as a sign. It's like we'll put on like this public PR face, that's like not
Mm.
really us. It's just like this. It's like, say I just want to be in the back of my head hanging out, but I've got to
Yeah.
interact with the world. I have this like pseudo mic that goes out in front of me and
Right.
just interacts with the world. And that
I've
is,
seen
it's
it.
fake. It's fake. It's because I'm not like actually invested in the thing that I'm doing. It's like whenever it's like duty or something like that and it doesn't have any creative juiciness to it, I'm like, the pseudo Mike can handle this. I'm gonna send him.
I wish I
um,
had that. It's like watching you turn into like this King of the Hill character. I've
mm,
watched it. It just pops out and you have this like innocent, very like I don't very Hank Hill-esque persona that is just really good at asking questions that if you're paying attention close enough that they're pretty insulting. Like they're calling people out. They're but
um,
it's like so subtle that it's on like Hank Hill, but also very British with the craftiness that it can that it like there's but also it's so banal that it's like was that what I think it is? And like you try not to think about it too much because that persona is like really like it's like very very cartoony in that like very King of the Hill way. I don't know how to describe it because it's so mundane, but it's like at the same time very rich in character.
it's my Muppet self. It's kind of my
Yeah.
I did that today to somebody, the subtle shade. I didn't even realize I was doing it at the time, but like one of my friends just opened up this new frozen yogurt emporium. Not an
Yeah.
emporium. They opened up this frozen yogurt thing inside this antique store. And he had coffee, so I was like, "Oh, I want a mocha." And he was busy and like didn't really know what he was doing yet with the mocha machine. So he gave me like a latte. And his wife
Oh,
was there too. And the wife was like, "Oh, you didn't even put any chocolate. You don't know how to use this thing yet." So she's kind of like getting after him. And he's like a little flustered. And she gave me some chocolate and I put it in the thing. And it was like, a mocha-ish. And I said something like, "Don't worry, man, you're only gonna get better, after this." And I was like, you can only get better. It was like, no, it was you
ah,
can only get better, which is,
like you can't get any worse than this, homie.
yeah. And his wife, like, I don't think he caught it necessarily in the moment, but his wife, like, is a Gemini and immediately caught it. She's like,
Right.
it's like, oh shit. That's my that's my sting, I think. That's my like
Ah,
I
it's
just
hilarious.
tend to sting people. I try
I mean,
not to do it
when
all
it
the time.
has
It's just
come,
part of my nature.
it's even come my way subtly every now and then, but I've totally deserved it, and I'm just like, well done.
Well, and it's not always that conscious. I mean, it's like I grew up in the Pacific Northwest. The Pacific Northwest
Oh
is
my
like
God.
crazy.
The mecca of like nice to your face.
Oh,
Like,
passive aggressive,
oh my
like
God.
headquarters of the USA, I think is Seattle. I think. And
It's
Portland has like aspects of it, but Seattle is like the core.
You will
It's
find people that will genuinely be your friends in Portland, at least for the night if you have cigarettes. And they will genuinely listen to your problems and like really give you a heart-to-heart connection, even if it's single serving. But in Seattle, the Seattle freeze out is so thorough. Like you will deal with people on a surface level, but you will never ever ever get invited anywhere to do anything at any time if they don't see you as one of them.
yes. It's
It's
very
just cold.
but there's also like this deep level of like kind of sarcasm and irony that
Mm,
like I think it
mm.
has. This was like the biggest switch for me. We're not getting that far into we're kind of dancing around astrology. We'll get into deeper topics soon.
I
Don't
mean,
worry.
yeah, well, we have more to cover as far as the news and real topics and stuff, but for
Yeah.
some reason this is the decompression zone right now. We have this void moon thing
Mm.
happening today.
Oh yeah,
So
the
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 energy is
Taurus
different.
Taurus moon is not quite here yet. but I had never been to the East Coast, and I got flown out by Greenpeace because I was running their
Mm.
Portland Greenpeace office for a while. I got flown out in my former life as a liberal activist, which people that know me now are like, I can't even believe that was such a thing, you know?
How many
Um,
boots did you lick? No, I'm teasing.
it was Greenpeace.
That's
It was pretty
that's
nice.
not
I
even a
was,
that's not a real question. Everybody was wearing sandals in Greenpeace.
yes, and you wouldn't want to lick anywhere near that
No,
for sure.
no.
I only have a South Node in Pisces, so I'm not into that. Um, we I got flown out to New York City. The first night I got flown out to New York City, they put me up in this hostel that was like absolutely infested with bed bugs, and
Ew.
it was like a bunch of people walking. It was like 90 degrees, like this very hot, no AC. So I'm in this
Yeah.
super hot hostel, no AC. When I lay down, I notice like I feel bugs crawling on me, so I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. So I ended up going outside and like sleeping on a bench in New York City the first night I was there. I was
Oh
like, this
wow.
probably isn't safe, but that's, I'm also pretty big, so nobody messed with me, and I was
Yeah.
only half asleep, you know. Um, but I woke up the next day and I realized like on the East Coast, that was a story. Getting to the next part. On the East Coast, they're really mean to each other, but it's like if you're mean back and if you play with them on the East Coast, they fucking love you. It's like
Yeah.
it's sparring all the time. It's almost more English influence than the West Coast is. Like
Yes.
the way that people are always kind of taking the piss out of each other in England, and
Mm.
that's like their height of humor is like just absolutely tearing into your friends. Like if somebody's not teasing you in certain parts of the UK, like they don't care about you at all, you know? Like
Right.
um so I really liked that East Coast energy or Northeast Coast energy. And then now I'm in the South and it's like everything is the shade is a lot more subtle
Ooh.
here. It's like it's very, very sweet to you, you know? People are very sweet to you, but they'll do little things like say things like bless your heart. And somebody if somebody says something like they're talking about a friend or they're talking about somebody they know and they're like, oh, and then she did this, bless her heart. That basically
Uh-huh.
means this fucking idiot, you know, like that's
It
what
does.
the
It
Northeast
does.
would say. And
My
then this bitch.
grandmother, Southern. I grew up with her saying "bless your heart" to my face, and I
Oh,
learned that was like, you dumbass. I love you.
oh. Um, but we should get into the news because there is a lot going on.
Yeah.
We might be approaching the singularity. We don't know. Nobody knows, but it seems pretty fucked up. Everything is converging.
Well, it's really hard to look at it, and really be able to. I don't. Again, I made this point the other day. I I didn't say it quite like this, but new day, new words. I think I'm one of the only people in this nation that hasn't seen Charlie Kirk die. I didn't ever watch the footage. I never had to see it. I'm one of the few people that haven't dug into these files. So, but I've, heard things. I'm aware of, certain things, but I've abstained from it. But I can still see the patterns, and I understand that when you are shown data on any level, because this is something I've said the other day. I grew up on Art Bell, listening to Art
Hmm.
Bell, Coast to Coast AM in the middle of the night with my mother. That was part of basically my homeschooling, and we knew a lot of this stuff. The paper trails were there. We knew the patterns back then, and a lot of the stuff was already said in the 90s, but it was the tinfoil hat schizos that were
Yes.
saying it, and you were marginalized back then for it. So I feel very much eye rolling with a lot of the stuff that's coming out, because we knew this 30 years ago. We knew this 25 years, however long ago. long time ago. But as far as having it be shown is something else, and having it in your face is another thing. In 1996 ish, approximately, I was around 9 or 10 years old. I was at the Tyler Mall in Riverside here, and I rarely got to go to the mall, rarely. But I was in a improv group. I told you about this. I was in an improv group, and the girls, were put in a modeling runway show at the Limited 2. And I was in it. I remember walking the catwalk, and I remember, and I really, this is part of what's making me not want to go into these files, is I remember seeing a guy with gray hair. He was in jeans and a sports coat, and I was walking down the aisle, the catwalk, and I remember getting to the the tip of the catwalk, and I froze and I stopped moving, and I didn't pose. I just kind of like, I had this fight or flight freeze response. And I've been on stage my entire life. I'm not that kind of person to get like stage fright. You can see me on camera all the time. I'm natural at it because it's no different than talking to you
Yeah.
right now. In fact, it's easier for me to be up in front of people than it is to have one-on-one conversations more frequently, because there's less emotional requirements. Like, I can
Yes.
just get to the point. So, that I froze. I got to the end, and there was this guy at the end of the catwalk, and like, I just remember having to be prodded to move. Somebody had to come and tell me to move. I froze so bad. Like, I had to, somebody had to do this. And I thought I did a terrible job, but I remember hearing that I got like callbacks to do more. And my mom was like saying no, because she just didn't really want us to get involved. So, like, she would keep me out of the yearbooks too. If I've only had like 4 years of formal education. Most of that was in private school.
Mm-hmm.
So on picture day, I wasn't really allowed to partake in picture day. But having all of these dots come together, I I was a part of that shit. I was a part of that in that early age, and I was probably a really good candidate because my dad had left the year before, and like, all for all intents and purposes, like, all the paperwork looked good for a good victim, like, probably. So, like, just knowing that I was on some level like tied into that, makes me feel even weirder about looking at the documents in
Yeah, I
person.
don't.
But I feel like it's really important to look at. I feel like there's like we covered this too, and I'll say it real quick. There's a difference between the Jewish stuff and the Zionist stuff. There's a
Yeah.
partition, and I think it's really important to make a distinction with that, because all of this is coming together for an anti-Zionist big picture.
Yeah.
And I, as somebody, with Jewish heritage in my blood, it makes me feel very nervous for things to get really black and white when things aren't black and white.
They aren't at all.
So, um, it's a heavy burden in my heart, and I try to stay out of politics in general, but this is one of those times when we have a crucible, and the whole system is dying. You can't
Yeah.
deny it. You can't be in bypass mode about it. Unfortunately, we just ranted about the Leo Aquarius axis wanting to bypass everything and not looking at the reality of things. So I can't join them. I can't join them in doing that.
Well, when I was looking at it, I mean, I'm not necessarily going to go on the website that the government put up and like log,
Yeah.
get all my stuff logged. But like when I've really wanted to check on um, because there's bullshit and there's real stuff that's coming out about this,
Right.
and we got to be careful about. My basic practice has been if somebody I can see that I've been following or that comes up in my feed is demonstrably lying, I just block them now. Like
That's good.
like I've been media fasting, like slowly blocking out people that not just disagree with me, but people that I can tell kind of on an intuitive level that they're kind of running an op through their account because there's
Yeah.
tons of those out there right now too. Um And it is important to like talk about like Zionism a little bit, but it's the thing that the Epstein files really shows, I think, is that there is a cabal of basically occultists. And I mean, that's the reality, you know, it's a cabal that
Yeah.
is working behind the scenes. They're not just in the US, it's not just
Regardless of
Epstein.
nomenclature, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The facts are the facts. Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I thought was interesting is in the files, he directly says many times that he represents the Rothschilds. And the
Mm,
Rothschilds are the central bankers. Like they're the central bankers. They Mayor Rothschild a long time ago, he had like five sons, and he sent the five sons off to like different European capitals to start banks. Um, and that has kind of grown into the central private banking system that we have right now. Like the Federal Reserve is, you know, a central private bank. Almost every country in the world has a central private bank. Um, so it's like what he really works for is the money of the entire system, you know. He was
mm,
representative of the money,
mm.
which suggests that the real, like any solution that's just like you know, throwing you know, people out of helicopters into wood chippers is not going to actually solve the problem, you know. The problem is going to be, it might be fun, it might be cathartic, you know, for people. I understand that. I understand the desire for this innocence has been destroyed. There should be
Yeah.
justice. I
People
understand
want the
that
guillotine back. Yeah.
they do, but you got to be careful about, you know, calling those kinds of things back into present times. There's a reason that we kind of moved away from some of those, you know? Um,
Facts.
so where was I? Do wood chipper, boom, boom,
Money.
boom, money, boom, boom, boom. Oh, so we're in this point kind of in history where a lot of the behind the scenes things that were previously hidden, except to people that dug really hard, are coming out. So
Right.
everybody is going to have to go through that period of disillusionment. And I feel like as we were going through Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, we kind of reached peak illusion and
Mm.
more and more started coming out. People started like, I think during this last year, a year of the snake, people started like really processing some of the ways that they might feed these systems. And the further I look into it, the further that I see it as like, this is not really a material problem. It's like partially a material problem, but it's mostly a spiritual issue that we're all having to deal with. The people that are at the tops of these pyramids of power, they're they're into occultism. They're connected to spirits or entities that are guiding their actions. And I feel like those entities are basically working to enslave the human race, you know, take away our creativity, take away our spark, like feeding off of like innocence, feeding off of our fear, feeding off of our hate. So
Yes.
when I see like the Epstein files come out, that increases like negative versions of hate, like anti-Semitism, for example, is one big thing that's going to come out of it. Um,
Yeah.
like, so the danger right now, the biggest danger that we're facing is people getting too caught up in people getting so caught up that they actually keep feeding this system. It's like they're going to
Yeah.
recreate the system. So yes, it's great that it's all out there. There's a lot of people like, what's the plan? Who's going to do the plan? You know, what how are we going to deal with this? And I understand all that, but that's also kind of helplessness, you know, and it's also like
Right.
if you were going to do a plan, you don't talk about it on the internet, dummy. you know? You probably put your phones in a Faraday box and meet in the woods like fucking druids if you're going to do something, Like that's kind of the level that you have to like start
Legitimately.
thinking at, if you're if you're trying to do something, but if you do something that plays into power's hands, like you could end up like feeling really righteous. And I think this is going to be the danger of the Saturn and Neptune. Uh, Feeling super righteous, feeling like you're doing absolutely the right thing, and you're actually like feeding the very things that you're trying to fight. And
Sometimes doing
that,
the right thing isn't doing the right thing. It's actually much creating more disaster.
yes. So obviously, I want anybody that is, a cultish child abuser. I definitely don't want them existing on this earth with us anymore. I'm just going to say that straight up. I don't even think,
The systems protecting them don't need to be existing anymore.
yes. And if we don't deal with the systems, and
Yeah.
it might be that dealing with the systems is creating our own like parallel systems that can hold us up while this thing collapses. That feels like the work to me, and it feels like
Yes.
all these psyops of like World War II and AI like taking over, and like the cabal of satanic PDF files, that all those things are trying to are part of this great psyop that's trying to get us to either just give up completely, like
Fight
become
or
totally
flee.
disillusioned.
Yeah,
Um,
that freeze response. They want the overload, the
or they
knowledge
want,
overload.
yes. So it's like we got to be really careful, like what we're letting in to our field right now. So I think your instinct of not like digging into the files, especially if like it's going to have like a negative psychic impact on you,
Yeah.
is a good one. Like you can hear about it. Like people, it's going to keep coming out. You already got brought up with Art Bell, so like a lot of the concepts that are going to start becoming more mainstream are, oh, aliens too. So it's like
Yeah.
there's so many things. World War III, which is like the Iran thing, the Epstein Files, which is like absolutely corrupted and owned government. There's alien disclosure, which Trump just came out saying that they're going to start releasing the files about aliens, which is crazy. And then there's like the AI, like it's supposedly really close to AGI, and it's like going up a vertical cliff right now in growth and the speed with
And then
which it can work.
and we can see them speaking to each other on, was it Malt Book or whatever?
Yeah,
Like
some of
that's
that was bullshit, but some of it wasn't. So it's kind of cool.
it's I mean, that's the thing with all of this though. Some of it's bullshit and some of it's not.
Yeah.
That's how it is. That's what all of this is. Some of it's bullshit and some of it's not. And you have to cultivate your relationship with your nervous system and understand where your limits are as a human being, because you will be taken for a ride. That's what they want. They
Yes.
want you to disconnect from your human beings. They want you to get isolated.
Yeah.
So there's a certain, they want you, it's a lot, like anybody telling you to do to do something in large groups is probably part of it. Like, let's all delete our TikTok, but then also the people that are planning stuff on TikTok, like all the people calling for instance, the tax boycott right now, like all of this is part of it. This is all part of the psyop. You have to be really careful with what you're doing here, because like this is the kind of instability that, like, you have to be aware of, that
Yeah.
this is the avalanche.
Well, I understand the reason why people, because I was kind of feeling the TikTok thing a little bit for a second. Um, and I understand the tax thing too, because, okay, so here's the
I mean, it's
reasons why.
understandable. It's compelling.
Well, Larry Ellison, head of Oracle, like really well-known Zionist, bought TikTok from China. because we were
Yeah.
like, we don't want this Chinese propaganda. And the first thing that he did after he bought it was he made it so people couldn't post the juice box emoji. So there's one banned emoji on TikTok right now. And then after he came in, like people that were talking about Palestine still, people that were trying to bring attention to the bullshit that's kind of leading up to strikes in Iran, which wouldn't serve the US at all. Like it basically was the Zoomers' biggest thing. The Zoomers have probably become the most anti-Zionist generation in American history, I'd say. Uh, well, since, after World War II. Like, so there's like this mismatch. It's like something that they really loved, this generation really loved, because TikTok was there. I
Hmm.
mean, we get to play in it, but TikTok was really like the Zoomer
It really
new
was.
thing,
Yeah.
Like
They're
because
my
Snapchat was kind of the millennial one, that Snapchat kind of came out. And then
yeah.
Instagram kind of was a big part of millennial culture. Facebook and MySpace was my Generation X or the
Yeah.
Xennials. Um, so I don't know. It's like so I understand people that they watch all these accounts that have built up millions of members getting strikes on them or getting kicked off the platform because they're telling the truth. You don't necessarily want to reward the person that just bought it with your eyeballs or your attention. So I get that. And then I also get like on a deep level that, if your government is like literally spending your money like to enrich themselves and take you deeper and deeper into debt and to cover for like elites, that are doing bad
Hmm.
things, like maybe you don't need to feed that anymore. And there's like also maybe you don't need to, maybe you shouldn't vote anymore as long as they keep putting up the people, So there's like
Yeah.
how much are we responsible, I guess, for stepping away from those things that we know are being used against us? I think is the us versus them
We
breakdown of it, you know? So I
it's
get it.
I mean, I understand the concepts. But I feel like any reactions can and will be used against you.
Yeah, at least in this next period.
It feels like like at least really early on, as things develop, as the planets move forward and the degrees move into the middle and later decades, I feel like reactions will be more timed. We'll have a better understanding of the playing field and what discernment is the correct action to wind up in this. But I feel like we have yet to see how the illusions and the erosions will be taking place in the new playing field, the new rules that will be having laid down about how to behave as an individual. I still believe that the cringe is the cure, being as authentic and real in the moment that we can possibly muster is probably going to be one of the biggest balms to society and to each other as possible, because right now, like, realness is suffering. Everybody's afraid of not just like I've noticed that a lot of people are talking about imposter syndrome more. And I
Hmm.
don't think that's at all ill-timed for this Aries transit conjunction. I think our concepts of where we stand and what we're willing to claim are changing. So, we don't really know, like you said earlier in the beginning of this podcast, you're not sure how you feel about participating in the financial systems, because that's part of your intake. That's part of what your claim is in your daily life. Your space that you take up, your concept of yourself. You don't want to be on the same. playing field as them. But you do need money to live, and you do need money for your platform. You need it. You're still monetized on some level. You still
We're still
have,
under it, aren't we? Yeah, it
there's no
sucks.
way out of it, so you might as well use it for you, and double down and use it for what you can do to help people at some point. There's going to be years to this. They're not going to let um here's the thing, like, it's never going to change too much too soon. It's because there's always going to be individuals wanting to handle it certain ways, and there's not going to be one unified lean towards the left side of the bus or the right side of the bus. There's still going to be an even distribution of weight, generally speaking. Like, people are still going to react the way they're going to react. So I'm not sure what the solution is. I just feel like it's too early to call the reaction yet.
Yeah,
I think that's my main point, is we got to be in an observant state and pay attention to where we feel like shrinking, how we feel like handling the trauma of this knowledge, how we feel like handling the new society structure that we feel birthing within us, and where I'll say the first shall be last and the last shall be first. More revelation style, like, verses popping up. There'll be wars and rumors of wars. Where are we going to get caught up in every little rumor? Where we're going to have to get anchored in our daily life and our
yeah,
bodies.
for sure.
Regardless, we can't be disassociating from that. So it's really a big deal.
It is a big deal to not get so caught up in like the big picture stuff that's happening around you that you're forgetting to take care of your own nervous system. I think people are living off cortisol right now, right? So
Hmm.
like uh and I've been thinking about that a lot lately. That's been like maybe the biggest change that I've had this past year, is recognizing how my nervous system is triggered, like on a whenever it's triggered now. It's like
Yeah.
I that was like shadow work to a certain extent, but I'm starting to understand it more through my body than I used to. Because if you do get triggered, you can like, if you just immediately when you do, if you try to figure out where it's at in your body and just set with it in your body, that's how you can get it out. It's like
Hmm.
sometimes I was too in my mind about that, but like we're responsible for our own nervous system, so we shouldn't feed it stuff that's making it sick all the time, like trauma, like you were talking about using rage bait recently, and
Yeah, I did.
oh, that's good. Did it work?
Oh, I mean, I've been incrementally using it. I had help creating a rage bait bot, rage bait marketing bot that I've been fucking with a little bit here and there. I am noticing to a certain level that it is getting me more engagement. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole point of astrology ship posting to a certain extent was triggering, right? Like if you have a group that like allows shit posting, allows people to fuck with each other, people are going to get like triggered. They're going to have that cortisol release,
Hmm.
from the thing that you created. And it's not necessarily bad because it's like if you never like triggers are your path to self to a certain extent, your path to programming at least. You can figure out the programming language that you have through your triggers. And you can deprogram yourself, but you have to know what actually triggers you before you can do that. And God, it's like now more than ever, it feels like with all this shit happening, we've got to be very conscious about how it's affecting our nervous system, how it's affecting us in our bodies and in our minds. Because if we get caught up in fear, we're feeding it. Like at a very base fundamental level, there's fear and love, and like The fear
Yeah.
polarity is fed by us, to a certain
Mm.
extent.
We know every time you go to the jungle, or or even just the forest, like you get told if you come across a tiger or a bear or a mountain lion, whatever, the first thing they tell you not to do is run. Don't run. Be big, start making noise, start being confrontational. Like it's absolutely everything that your body tells you not to do. But up against some big animals here.
Mm-hmm.
We have a choice to decide to shrink and run and be better bait, or we have a second to sit here and bluff a little bit and choose to inhabit our energy wider and stronger.
Well, I think at the core, we are bigger than the things that we're worried about.
Yeah,
We are
we have to
much,
pay.
we are much bigger, much stronger than the things that we're up against. We've got to remember that in ourselves. The only way that we're going to do that is by not like we give permission to these
Yes,
systems in some way. Like we've got to figure out how we're giving permission to these systems, how we're feeding these systems, like that are, you know,
that
enslaving us,
sovereignty prayer. I
Yeah.
sent you that sovereignty prayer. I sent it to Josh recently too. And it talks about all timelines and dimensions and any agreements that have happened off planet or off out of dimension where you may or may not be conscious of it. Anything that has to do with you on all of your beings on any planet, on any timeline, any versions of yourself everywhere that have to do with your soul, your beingness. All the contracts are null and void. You call your energy back to you. You cancel out any agreements that happened above you, around you, without your consent, and you take that and repossess your sovereignty. And I think I'll send it to anybody and everybody. I post it all the time. I voiced this prayer on everybody basically because it is so encompassing. And I read it about every 6 months, or until somebody asks me how to guard and protect my energy.
Hmm.
And I read it with my occult chat. I My plan is to do every quarter. My occult chat's still pretty new. We just did it in, I think, January. So we have a couple more months until I'm doing that again. But just a live recitation of it, and to reinforce the sovereignty bubble, the just holding your space and your energy, and it keeps you cognizant about what you sign up for with little. Um, I don't remember who said it. One of these self-help books said it, like you wouldn't be having an emotional reaction. Maybe it was Robert Greene, if you didn't silently agree with it in some way. So you have
Hmm.
to pay attention to what you're agreeing to on minute micro levels every day. Like, uh, are you buying into this article that you just happened to come across, or this reel where they're saying we're fucked? We're running out of resources. Or are we going to go look at the data and see that there's more resources being discovered every day?
Yeah.
There's just, you got to pick your narrative. And again, I'll say, who was Henry Rollins was saying, I said this last one. I have to remember all these points that I made from the last podcast because they'll never see the light of day. Henry Rollins was saying that you and I are okay, but we the
We're,
people are fucked.
yes.
We are fucked, but you and I are okay. That's why, at the very beginning of me versus we, I've been very staunch about how am I going to be a good citizen? How am I holding my energy? How am I conducting myself, regardless of how I'm being viewed? Am I in my integrity? Yeah, maybe I'm a little disorganized and unstrategic, but at least I'm not faking it.
Well, I think
You know,
somebody said that like your integrity is really ultimately what you're like when nobody's around to see. Um, and I think that's totally true. I think it's like if your natural action, let's use the shopping cart test, like just the shopping cart ethical test. You're
Yes.
alone at the shop, you're alone at the, shopping center. You've gotten your groceries, you've brought them back out to your car. You know that what you should do is take that shopping cart back to its little corral.
Mm-hmm.
But what do? And the and this is like, it's funny because this is framed on the internet often as just a basic test of whether you're like
A good
pro-social or
person.
anti-social, you know? Do you like just leave it where it is, which is like pretty bad. Like I guess it could be even worse. You leave it where it is, but you block off a car so somebody else has to move it. Um, you maybe pick it up a little bit and you like put it on the curb or something like that.
So
Or
at least it doesn't drift away.
do you just walk it back to the goddamn thing, knowing that that's like not going to benefit you in any way, right? So it's like that is like the basic test of whether you're a service to others or service to
Mm-hmm.
self person. It's important to make sure that you love yourself and that you are divinely selfish, I think, in this life. It's important to take care of yourself.
I love this.
But
Yeah.
but it is, if your life is only about what you get out of it
Correct.
and everybody else is kind of unreal to you or not, doesn't matter to you, like
Then you're a
that,
sociopath and you have issues.
you have
Bigger than a shopping
issues.
cart. Yeah.
They're bigger than a shopping cart, and like that's like this a simple test of it. And maybe all of us maybe have left one or two in the course of our lives because we were being selfish that day.
Yes.
But if you're listening to this and you never return the shopping cart, you are the problem. You are part of the
Yes.
problem. It is when you are only caring about yourself, when you only care about like, how does this reflect on me? What does this mean for me? What can I get from this? What can I get from this person? It's the transactional nature
Yes.
that is ultimately one of the biggest blocks to human happiness that we have on this
And you're
planet right
right.
now.
That is the extreme of the ultimate me, going too far into the Aries. But I, as an Aries with a big stellium, I will say this. I always take the shopping cart and put it in the corral. And I'll tell you why. This one time, story time, I I convinced my best friend to go with me, her name's Megan, to the gym that I was at the time. And it was an Anytime Fitness. And there was footage of this and everything. Like she was parked right in front. And she had been, there was like the one time I got her to come to the gym with me to work, to work out with me. And it was a friend's day. It was a Friday. I totally remember everything. She parked right in front of the gym, hanging out all up for a couple hours. I like to be there for a while. So we leave to go get in her car to leave, and the side view mirror is broken off, and there's a shopping cart right there. And it's like we got footage. We saw exactly what happened. The shopping cart drifted from the Vons parking lot all the way over to the Anytime Fitness parking lot and just rat fucked her mirror. And
With
most
nobody
more
pushing it,
nobody
just the
pushing it. It was
gravity.
just the wind saying fuck you, just fuck
You
you in
specifically.
particular. Fuck you. And we wound up, long story short, we talked to the Vons parking lot and the manager, and wound up, it never happens this way, but she pressed them so bad they gave her money to repair it. So they almost never pay people back for
No.
any sort of repairs like that. But she was able to get some money out of Vons for the side view mirror. But here's how we fixed it: is we wound up fucking getting some glue. I don't remember what kind of glue, but I had some physical therapy bands, like those rubber big rubber bands that they make
Yep.
for you, the physical therapy joint. we glued that shit on, and I tied that mirror on with those rubber bands, and we let it sit, and like that mirror never fell off. It was on this Chrysler that she wound up selling. Like
Huh.
it just wound up, so she wound up pocketing the money. But I'll tell you that
The statute of
that
limitations is over. It's fine. It's
it's
fine.
forever ago. It's been like close to 7, 8 years by now. Like it's a long time ago now. But the moral of the story is it doesn't matter where you leave that shopping cart. If even if you think it's safe, it's probably going to affect somebody's life pretty great. And if we, regardless of how we handled it, like glued it back on or whatever, like that that's somebody's livelihood getting possibly destroyed. That's a vehicle that doesn't need a ding,
Yeah.
it was a whole hassle that didn't need to happen just for somebody just to take it back into the cart, like
Yeah.
corral, and just do the decent thing. So I'll never forget that experience of riding that emotional wave with her, and like what the, and then
What the
seeing the
fuck?
footage, and having everybody from the gym just watching this footage, like gathering up to watch this fucking cart come out of nowhere, just a rat fucker side view mirror. Like it was just a fucked up thing that happens, but that's exactly what'll happen if you don't take the cart back. Like you just
Just you don't
never
know.
know
You
who
don't
you're
know.
gonna affect.
And it's just like yes, being divinely selfish as in being focused on being your true self
Feeling your
is
body.
absolutely good.
Yeah.
Being selfish as in thinking that you're the only person that matters in this whole world
That's
and
yes.
everybody else is extraneous to you, you're fucked up. I mean, that's like you're feeding the very systems that you're probably mad about all the time. And it's like that's like the me versus we, right? Like
Yeah,
we should be sometimes contentious with other people. We should be pushing forward our own ideas. We should be acting on our own impulse, and doing things that benefit ourselves. But like, if that is the only fucking calculus that you have for the world is what can I get out of this? What you're ultimately going to get out of it is not going to be very nurturing for you. It's not going to nurture your
correct.
soul. It's going to be damaging for you and
Right.
your
Yeah,
experience on this earth.
and I did say at the beginning, like I've never felt like the need to be more, or I felt the yearn to be more. What was the word I used? It wasn't. It was shallow. I said I've never felt the urge to be more shallow than I have recently, because I'm feeling like all this stuff is fake, and like why not? Why not be able to go on vacation, or why not be able to have a retreat and invite a bunch of people, and actually have a really fun time with people, and actually work on some spiritual shit together. Like there's things you can do with money, and be turning it around, instead of try to live in poverty because you don't want to play the game.
I'm
There's a certain level of what we were just talking about with this grocery cart thing, and like, but I'm not trying to sound like, I'm only in it for the fame, or the
I
money. Like
like
there's things you can turn around and do with it.
I like money. I'm going to be very honest. I like it.
Yeah.
I like to have it. I like to not be in lack in general.
Oh, heck
Um,
yeah, there's nothing wrong with
but
that.
the money doesn't have to be like the way that it is right now. And I honestly think this
Yes.
is not a full prediction, but it's like it looks like this might happen in about March, I'd say. Silver might kill the banks. If the banks get killed, we have to have a new kind of currency. Probably the first thing that will be offered to us will be fake and gay, and we've got to be very careful about it. But we can actually, like, imagine like frictionless exchange. Imagine if we didn't have like an income tax, for example, frictionless exchange between people for like what we for
Are
like
you
commerce,
as if are you saying that pretend bartering actually works? Is that what
Well,
you're saying?
pretend that there's no middleman. How much of the economic system is middleman, right? Like
Yeah.
how much of it is like, and how much do we have to like worry about? Oh, I got $65 from this person. I've got to report it on my taxes, otherwise, blah blah blah. Like I report everything. I'm like Saturn and Virgo, so I'm actually so you're not going to get me on that, guys. Just so you know, you'll have to come from a different direction. But yeah, it's like when so all these banks have all these shorts on silver, and they've been holding down like the silver market for a long time. And a lot of the silver that's supposedly owned is only paper silver. This has been thought and
Mm,
pretty much known for a long time. It's only on paper. They don't actually have the physical to deal with that. And silver has been doing weird things lately. It's gone up a lot. But in
mm,
March is when the real test of the big banks happens because it's going to flush out. Basically, the prices are going to flush out the fake silver in the market. And that means that
mm.
actual price discovery is going to happen at that point. And
Yeah.
there's a lot that is, there's a lot of signals that I'm getting from the world that we're going to move to a resource backed economy, that our banking system is going to absolutely change, and the way that we exchange money is going to change. So I feel like we're in this interregnum period between those two. And obviously, we still need money to survive while we're in it, while we're in
We
this
do.
medial place. But I think we're about to see the end of the economic system as we've known it, and I think it's likely to happen this year. Like,
That's okay with me. I think there's a
yeah,
lot of people who've been what's the word? I think it ties to autism, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of people that have different brains than the neurodivergence that are suffering under the way things have been, and we have creative solutions to these issues that we work around every single day because this is how we've had to live
mm-hmm,
um outside of the actual big picture. But I also, I mean, I've been thinking about silver, and I'm not attached to the news, as you know,
yes,
but I have been thinking about silver lately in an odd way because I went to Calico, which is a old ghost town in California that was a mining town that
mm-hmm,
used to mine silver in the
mm-hmm,
1800s, in the early 1900s. And they quit mining because the silver, it was too costly to mine the silver anymore. There's still ore in these hills, but we don't mine the way that we used to in places like that anymore because the costs to refine the silver were too much. And that
mm-hmm.
that does not ring true to me. And I've been doing research on these silver mines because it doesn't make sense to me. Why close operations if we still have resources here? And I think it
Yeah,
does have to do with the reserve systems not being backed anymore by physical, um, you know,
yeah.
actual
It's
backing.
literally the economic system is based right now on our belief in it. That is like the it's our faith in it that actually allows it to exist, because there's nothing behind it, like nothing behind it. And the people that have
Amazing.
been winning on it, they know this, but they've set up the system to increasingly enrich them at the top of the pyramids and increasingly shitify our lives. So we need different incentives.
It's coming
So,
in.
and it's
Yeah.
coming in, and I think that there's a lot that's going to happen over this year. I don't think we're going to get that many breaks. I think that the when I was looking at the astrology for the year, I think maybe in the fall we get to chill a little bit, but this whole year is going to be nonstop outer planet, you
Mm-hmm.
know, hits. It's going to be a big one, guys. Like we we don't get. You've been talking about wanting to rest more, right? And like be lazy more. Well, you might not necessarily get that much of a chance to do that. So you might not get to practice that a bunch during the Saturn in Aries kind of era. Um,
I don't think, see, here's the thing. I don't think necessarily be lazy. I mean, I mean,
rest.
be more disciplined about creating space in my schedule.
Got it. So not
There's a
feeling
dis
overdrawn basically
it's
emotionally and
there's a not forcing that I'm not physically allowed to push through my cortisol levels anymore. I am
yeah,
not allowed to burn on all cylinders like I've been doing for the past 5 years. There's
yeah.
something that's physically blocking me from doing all of the bypassing that I've been doing and ignoring all the signs in my body to slow
Well,
down.
I think that's Saturn. That's Saturn
Yeah,
coming over your sun for sure. But it's also, I think in general, during the Saturn and Aries era, like, you know what's going to be punished? Not returning the shopping cart. That kind of behavior is going to be punished under Saturn and Aries. Like, what's not going to be punished is doing the hard work on ourselves and showing up as ourselves. Like, that's going to be rewarded. That's like the test of this. It's like the crucible that every person is going to have to go through over the Saturn and Aries transit is like, it's going to curb selfishness because Saturn, that's what Saturn does, you know? Not like
yeah, I can
but
see
not
that.
divine selfishness. It's going to curb like
Petty selfishness.
service to
Yeah,
self. It's going to curb service to self behavior. That's why, to a certain extent, we're seeing all these people in high places like get. I mean, what's the whole point? Like they're trying to reach the tops of these things so that they can burnish their egos and be like, look at what I did. Who cares who I had to step over to get here? Who
right.
cares of what I had to do to get into this room? Like that service to self, like
That's
the
different.
people, the people that used to occupy a certain role in our minds are going to be shown out to be not worthy of our respect or admiration anymore.
Correct.
In
The
mass.
celebrity is dead. The celebrity, the person of power and renown is dead as we knew it. The whole
Yes.
system is dead. People don't want to see known figures that have been living lavish while other people suffer anymore. Nobody gives a fuck if you have wealth anymore. Nobody gives a fuck if you can't make a connection. They
Yeah.
will expose people like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
nowadays. Nobody gives a fuck who you are. They just want to know if you're what's the word I'm looking for, a real human being underneath that, or if you have compassion. Like that's a real test of where's the authenticity. Like I see so many people just like TikTok after TikTok. Nobody loves, I mean, the crab bucket thing is part of it, yes, but it's even more than that. It's just as a society, nobody gives a fuck anymore about a famous person at all.
I think that that's been a general expectation of the Pluto and Aquarius era, that it would be because it's the opposite of Leo, right? Who was the most celebrity obsessed, probably generation of all? Pluto and Leo, the boomers, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like they
easy.
would hold up the great men of history, hold up like that was like their fucking thing, man. They created a bunch of those and they created like these calcified ego structures basically. Um and Pluto and Aquarius is like going to explode a lot of those calcified ego structures and show what's underneath it. And if people haven't been doing the work underneath, it's going to be pretty obvious. But when Pluto goes into, or when Jupiter goes into Leo this year, I think what we're going to see, again, this is not a full prediction. This is just my vibe right now. I'm vibing this. This is vibe coding the universe, ladies and gentlemen.
There we
Enjoy.
are.
when Jupiter moves into Leo, I think what we're going to see is the celebrities or the people that have really earned it. You know, the people that have really like they have something that's like very special and they couldn't be bought, you know,
Mm,
or
yay.
and there's certain yay is one of them, you know. I
Yeah,
would say, you know,
that's not what I meant, but yes.
yeah, but yeah,
You know,
I think
he's
that
been trying to tell us all about this shit for a long time now, so I
yes,
think that's definitely part of it. Yep.
but like no matter what you think about what he's said about things, like he has been his real self, you know? He
This is
has
true.
created like, and he's done it when it costs him fucking everything. Like,
Mhm.
and I think that you're gonna, so we shouldn't worship celebrities, but I think during the Jupiter and Leo era, we're gonna see a winnowing of what's real, you know, in that. I
I
think
love
that like
that.
we'll also get some, I think the best movies that we've had for a long time are gonna come out during that chunk, during the Jupiter and Leo. Like to a certain extent, like the whole motion, you know, there's Hollywood, there's all the connections between Hollywood
Mm,
and negative things.
mm,
But I think what's happening in Hollywood is like the people, the things that we're trying to push, like certain narratives or certain
yes.
messages, are falling flat now because people see the programming underneath it more often.
Yes.
And nobody wants to go to a show to get programmed, right? So, but there's new things that are starting to come out. Like there's this thing, Night of Seven Kingdoms. It's like George R. R. Martin, and it's
Mm,
on HBO Max, and it's like a Game of Thrones story, and it's like this simple story of this man that becomes a knight, and he's kind of dumb, and he's tall, and he's like kind of fumbling his way through like his the knight that he was following squiring for died, and he has to go into this world, you know, this he's been kind of trained for it, um and there's no messaging behind it besides this person becoming, you know, themselves, you know, becoming stepping into their um bigger self, you know, in the midst of challenges. And I think that like
that's
there was
yes.
something so universal about the message that it was, and it was so obviously like, we're going to do this straight. Whoever directed this, they were like,
Mhm.
we're not putting any of that as shit in here. This is going to be this fucking story. I'm going to tell it the way that I want to tell it. And I think it's going to, it's, I think critically acclaimed, but it's also like just good. I mean, it was like the first thing that I've watched for a while, and I don't really watch TV that much more anymore. It was the first thing that I watched that like immediately kind of drew me in, and then
Mm,
each episode was like it was a treat, you know, to watch. So sorry for getting excited about TV. I am a Libra. I'm allowed to be shallow every now and again, you know. But Night of
hey,
Seven
it can't
Kingdoms,
always be. I mean,
big
I
recommendation.
literally said, I'm more shallow, more it did really hit me. I've been trying to make serious money and I've been seriously stressed out as a woman. Seriously, seriously stressed out. And I think money doesn't have to be all that serious. There's people out there on a lark making thousands and thousands just by the hour.
Yes.
They're just fucking around.
There's
And
shit posters that are millionaires now, you know, it's like it's crazy. We're in a
it
different world.
why am I so tied to this? Why am I so married to the hard work? I'm not saying um, stop self improvement. I'm not saying become, a person that gets washed in the sands of craving and vice. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, why can't my work be hard for me? Why can't I turn that into stuff I do at the gym instead of being so mentally exhausted at how to make my ends meet, how to be self-employed. Like it shouldn't be that money part shouldn't be the hard part. The
Yeah.
hard part should be the growth and the what do they call it, scaling, and the whatever traveling you want to do it, the branching out, the secondary part, not the initial. The money part should be the easy part in this new era, I think. It's for creatives, especially, and people
Yeah.
that have been doing the work this whole time, and the ones that have had integrity and like have watched so many other people who are just assholes win. Like people who cut corners this whole time. And they're
Yeah.
like, ha ha ha, what are you doing? You're wasting your time being, being a good person, like you dumbass. Like those are the
Well,
people that are going to be the ones that are suffering in this new era.
yes. I mean, that's what is Saturn punishes. It restricts, right? It's in Aries, so selfish action, like that kind of those kinds of
Correct.
people that have
Yeah.
like the people that like have made their money streaming, like being assholes on the street, to people. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's streamers that
Yeah.
like are
Prank
assholes to
people.
people,
Yeah, they just
and
prank people all day.
those people are going to get punched in the face a lot more now. First of all, that's like
Yeah.
guaranteed. If you're doing that with your life, people are not going to have it anymore. Like
Oh
that's
no.
going to stop and
No.
start going away. People are going to be more likely to throw down just in general, which is like the big one of the big dangers of Aries
100%.
transit. So you got to be careful about that. But I think that kind of behavior, like just narcissistic, egocentric kind of
In this
behavior,
case, I believe Hollywood itself is going to collapse.
I think it will. I think, well,
I think it will.
as it is, yeah, for
As it
sure.
is. I mean, it's going to exist,
Disney probably will too,
but
Disney will to a certain
I'm
extent.
good. I'm so like I've been talking about Disney for years and how sinister the forced perspective is. Like that is one of the main that is one of my main things that I will always probably like fight people about, because there's so many Disney adults. There's so many, and it's kind of creepy, dude. Like
That is
there
like the deepest normie behavior that I could possibly imagine is Disney adults, actually.
it's
You know?
not, I mean, while it's quote unquote normie, it's still weird to me because you're not just partaking in a an illusion of the happiest place on earth, which is a fun concept in and of itself. You are like, I'll say it, I've said it so many times, like Disney created our mother wounds, whether or not you had a good mother. We all had Bambi's mother die. We all had separation anxiety and hurt over most of those characters that we watched early on have no mother, or their mother died in front of our eyes. So we
Yeah.
have that's just one of the ways that our we all have the same cultural wounds. We all have the same uh, Disney princess perspective where we want to be rescued in romance. A lot of women are stuck
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, uh, we also have whole colors of paint that were created just to disguise buildings in the distance to make sure that you can't see it. And it's like a green and a blue that will blend in with trees, and another one that will blend in with the sky, just so you can't see what they don't want you to see.
Mm-hmm.
You stand in the middle of Main Street, USA, in any Disney park, and you will have everything pointing to where you're standing in such a way that makes the castle seem enormous, and everything else around you feel to scale. And it's just there you Disney himself was such an artist at forcing perspective and making you get into his brain any
Yes.
way he could. And that, to me, like, while a good artist is a storyteller and will bring you into their world, the way, the scale that this has been done has been one of the most propaganda machinery into our fabric of reality as not just Americans, but as a global citizen. Like everybody
Yeah.
knows Disney. Everybody has an influence that Disney has touched in their life. And that in and of itself is what's creepy to me. So
Yeah,
good. I feel like there's a lot of sinister childhood programming that's involved, and I think this
for sure.
Michael Jackson shit is for real, where he was trying to
I think
expose a
he
lot
was
of
a
this
good.
stuff.
I think I used to think that he was, you know, that he did the things that he was.
Yeah,
I don't think he did anymore.
I
Actually, I've
agree.
like, I I remember
I was
one time
creeped
I was
out.
like joking about it, and somebody in my Greenpeace office, I made a joke about Michael Jackson, and somebody in my Greenpeace office got so mad at me. Like, she was like, he is not like that. He did not do that. Like, she was,
Yeah.
and she was right. So I'm gonna say, sorry, Taylor. You were absolutely right. I'm sorry I shit on a good man. It does seem like he was abused when he was young. He was trying to protect other people from abuse. He was trying to call it out. And I couldn't see it because I got fucking
The
snaked by the
propaganda.
media. I got snaked
It,
by the propaganda. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of getting snaked by the propaganda.
it's
Speaking.
forced perspective. And he was really deeply involved in Disney.
Hmm. Yeah, dark.
I'm just Captain EO. I'm just saying. I'm
Well,
just saying.
isn't that like the whole point of programming is to force your perspective, is to force you to have a specific perspective. If
A
enough
whole
people have
experience,
it,
a
if
whole
enough people
biological, yeah,
if enough people have it, then they will help enforce it for you. That's like what
correct.
normies do.
That's the egregore, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like you
yeah.
create the entity through attention. And we talked about, I think last time we talked about a little bit about Santa Muerte and how it's not a canonical saint, but the people's attention has created
Oh yeah.
a entity that does have influence. So it's literally the same fucking thing, just with a different, logo on it. And it creeps me out. Disney will always and
Yeah.
forever be one of the creepiest phenomenons in our human society.
I mean, it's that egregores are crazy to me because there's so many of them. Like, I don't think any gods or anything that's believed in is not real. Does that make sense? Because on some
Correct.
level in the astral, everything has its reflection, anything that we can imagine can be reflected, but they're fed by belief. Any egregore is going to be fed by belief. So say that there was like way back in the day, say that there were like these almost mythical creatures that were on this land that we thought of as the old gods. Maybe let's get really crazy. Let's say maybe they were advanced beings from another place. Like let's just say that.
The Anunnaki,
Maybe
perhaps,
a
even.
different dimension, maybe. Who knows? But maybe at one point humans were able to like kind of interact with those beings more freely. Maybe we've had ebbs and flows in our ability to connect with dimensions beyond ours. Maybe as a species we have. And say that those beings like seeded themselves into our minds and we told the stories about them and we fed them and kept them alive with our belief over the course of time. If we take it a step further, um, if we go into another era, like go into another era where those become sensible to us, it's almost like it's almost like the gods are kind of still with us. All of these things are still part of us, are still influencing us. Like, and that corporate like Disney, like, ugh, it's like the older stories were better. Like the older stories were a better egregore. And I think that the older stories will last. I think that I'm gonna blab for just one more second. I'm gonna gab for one more second. I think that the the Roman and Greek gods are kept alive through astrology. I think that that keeps the
Yeah,
energy on them at all times.
that's
Do you
fair.
get what I'm saying? Like,
I do.
like we're
That's
always
fair.
like, oh,
Completely fair.
Mars. And then we think about Mars and we like visualize what, oh, Mars is a warrior, right? Like
And then
Mars is,
we put him in the Pisces outfit. We put him in the
yeah. And we're
Cancer
like,
outfit. We put him
okay,
in
what,
all of these different costumes.
Mars, what do you look like as a Pisces? And he's like, I hate this, but I'll tell you, I'm on this island and there's nobody to fight. And there's not very many people to talk to. And I've got all this energy. So I guess I'll create, like that's kind of
Like, yeah,
the
I'll
Mars
just
and
start
Pisces.
dream hopping. I'll
I'll
just
start
invade your
dream.
dream.
I guess that I'm gonna have to find new places to conquer because I'm fucking bored here, like that's kind of Mars and Pisces. Mars and Pisces, like they're not good at the direct attack.
No,
Like Mars and Cancer also not good at the direct attack, like I would
absolutely
say.
not. The
Like
crab doesn't move forward, it moves sideways, so
it
you'll never
scuttles
get a direct
sideways.
attack.
So it's like
Never.
you
It will, however, both of
these
them, they'll make you feel their feelings.
yes, they
They'll
will.
make you
They
carry the
will.
burden of their emotions with them. Yep.
Yeah. I Does Mars and Scorpio do that too? I'm not sure. Maybe
Not as
sometimes
much. I mean, a
I
little bit.
project my emotions sometimes
A
onto
little
the
bit.
field and dark emotions sometimes. Like I'll come in drunk sometimes and be like, here's the heaviest meme I saw today and just drop it and
Dude,
leave.
I've seen you do it. I've seen you do it. And you'll like leave some sort of really dark something in chat and just bounce. And I'm like, I
Why?
was about to go to bed and now I'm thinking about like the end of the world and or how mortal I am right now. Like, crap. Like, time is literally fleeting. And here I am reminded about that. And it's like 9 p.m. and you'll just drop something. I'm like, why am I reading this right now? Like, what's wrong with this picture? Like,
I
my dad is a Mars and Cancer, but he is a Scorpio moon. And it's just one time he was like, you can leave your bedroom window open at night. It's not like somebody can, climb in your window from that height. And I was just
and you're
like,
like, I never thought of that. Now I have to think about that.
interesting. Like,
Yeah.
fuck. I had never considered somebody crawling in my window whatsoever. And now wow. What a
Now the only
visual. Like,
ones,
that's the kind of shit y'all I think you will do. I don't know. My best friend Janina is a Mars and Scorpio, and it's just I've never had her try to manipulate me to feel her feelings with her. But I have felt that it will be your problem some other way. It will be you will have to you will get probably set up in a scenario where you have to directly confront it in some other way. Like, you guys are very clever in the way that you will create friction in a different way other than making you
yeah.
feel your feelings. It's more like, you will experience what I'm feeling and here's how.
We don't even plot it. It just happens. It's there's no calculation at all. Don't
Right.
worry. Don't worry. Um,
Boom.
I feel like I feel like we've got a good one right now,
Yeah, yeah, we can stop.
and
It's a really
I
long
think we're good.
conversation. People will enjoy it. Like, this is a
Yes.
good one. And we did visit a lot of the subjects that we touched on before, but I think it came out more refined and
Yeah.
more cultured this time.
We're so cultured. I mean, I'm cultured
Uh,
on a farm, in Washington, but I do pay attention to culture because I'm a Libra. I just can't help it. I'm a seventh
got
houser,
to, got
Gotta pay
to.
attention. Gotta see what's
I
going
mean,
on.
I am about the community with my big old 11th house. I mean, I am a Gemini, a double Gemini, and a lot of that's in the 12th. So I will go into my subconscious first before I go into society, probably emotionally anyway. But either way, I'm going to be of service no matter how you slice it. So hopefully this reached somebody in a really good way, and maybe we distracted and entertained for a minute. And then, that'd be cool if you learned something.
You tell them where to find you again.
Okay. I am everywhere. YouTube, Instagram, uh, what else? TikTok, um, What did I say? Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all of them Sui Generis Regenerate. I have a website, Sui Generis Regenerate, SUIGNERATE, Sui Generis Regenerate. And then you can find me on Facebook with Katie Shasky. Sui Generis Regenerate on Substack as well. It's just the name I have. It just means one of a kind and always changing. So that's what we
Nice.
roll. So, Michael, you are Mutual Reception Astrology, and I need to catch
Yes.
up on your music. You've been making songs, and I
Yeah,
need to
I
sit
did.
and listen to
I
them.
was very proud of my Capricorn season song output. It was like bluegrass.
I love
So
bluegrass.
Capricorn season, I was bluegrass, and then Aquarius season, it was mostly what was it? Electro swing. So
Nice.
those are my style experimentations. But yeah, you can. I do songs. I do long form articles. I do daily updates on astrology mostly. Every once in a while, I'll put my war leader pants on and try to make people feel good, and feel like they've got this because I understand that sometimes it can be a little bit rough dealing with all the things that we're dealing with today. So come find me
Facts.
on TikTok, on Substack, on Facebook, and it's been lovely.
It's a great conversations always. I'm glad we did this again. It worked out really great. So, this will be posted as soon as it fucking uploads, and I'm 100% sure the mic is good this time. So it's
Oh,
gonna be great.
it sounded great. We did it right. All
Yeah.
right.
All right. Good talk. I'll do it again next time. I appreciate you, Michael.
Appreciate you.
Bye for now.
Bye.